This machine was marketed by the Talk-O-Phone Company of Cleveland, Ohio. They were building machines from 1903 to 1908, and unfortunately, we don't know a whole lot about what machines they were building because they were uncatalogued. They didn't produce a lot of paperwork on these machines, and so we don't know. We do know that this one is called the Clarke, and that's the model of it, and it takes after Columbia's machines. If you've seen some of the Columbia front mounts, they're very similar cabinets to this. A little bit of decoration. The Columbia woodwork is always really nice. And it's got this sort of rope beading here, which is very typical of Columbia. Also, the tone arm, the aluminum tone arm, is similar to what you would see on a Columbia with its kind of embossed design. The one thing I think they did that was a huge improvement over Columbia was the Columbia horn support arm here was usually clipped in to something on the cabinet. And so when you lifted it up, it came out and you could drop the machine. And that's always a problem, especially if you're used to picking them up by this and then it keeps popping out every time you do that. It's a good machine. When I bring you up in for a close-up, you're going to see this incredible decal. I love the Talk-O-Phone decals. They're really interesting. In 1907, I believe this company reorganized as the Atlantic Phonograph Company of New York. And then, unfortunately, due to patent lawsuits with Victor and Columbia, they were eventually put out of business. So let's come in and take a look at this machine. Well, we got to start with the decal. I mean, look at that thing. I love these old decals, and this one's probably one of the best style decals I've ever seen. Beautiful. Just amazing. And then you can see the work on this machine, this cabinet, is very much like a Columbia, especially this part. And as I said, the trim along the top looks very much like Columbia. And then you've got the aluminum tone arm, and you can see it's mounted in on its support, which is attached to the cabinet, something like you'd find on a Victor machine, actually. And there's the reproducer. Let's see if I can get that in there. 1902 patent. And then the elbow, it's a metal elbow, unlike the leather ones or the thin brass ones that came on Columbia's. And you can see the crank. And this is used to open the cabinet so you can lift the lid and take a look at the motor. I took the crank off and pulled on this little mechanism here that locks the lid, and you can see we were able to lift it up and take a look at the motor. And then here is the speed control, which seems to start and stop the turntable when the reproducer is not sitting on it. So we'll play a record and see what it sounds like. Okay, we're all cranked up. I'm going to put on a record. I chose something I thought would be a little interesting, a Kalamazoo record. They're kind of neat, they're labels. This is an early single-sided record. So let's see what this sounds like on this machine. Now, as I said, the speed control here actually starts and stops the turntable, which is kind of a drag, because if you get it at the right speed, every time you turn it off, you got to go back and figure out what speed you were at. Wow, very loud, very clear. Nice machine.